Par Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchir Nitila Pravish, let me start over. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shmar Bhakti Saranta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Goksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Shila Satchitaranda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Darbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yang Prabrajantamanupeta Mapeta Krityam Payano Virahakatara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Bhinedu Stang Sarva Bhuta Hridaya Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Shrinvatang Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridantasto Hyabhadrani Vidhunoti Suhritsatam Nashta Prayeshvavadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Eti Vigyaya Radhe Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparadhalaksha Kshiptashtakamadhitaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I just realized that it is. I just realized that it's Sunday today. So usually I'm supposed to be doing the Rupa Shiksha class, but I totally forgot about time. So I guess I'll do it tomorrow if that works for those who've been joining. Anyhow, sorry about that. Just not been so on it these days. Been a little bit scattered. Dandavat pranams Madhavi Didi, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Rup Manjari Didi, and Yashoda Didi. Haribo. Just checking. Okay. So now today we are beginning Veṇu-gīta, and I didn't get time to prepare today's reading, so we'll just keep on reading until we get until 8:25 or whenever, and then yeah. The gopis glorify the song of Krishna's flute, and we saw in the previous chapter it was setting the scene for this, right? It went through the rainy season and then the beginning of autumn, and so now comes this. Shri Shuka Uvacha Itang Sharat Socha Jalang Parmakara Sugandhina Nyavishad Vayuna Vatam Sago Gopalakochuta. Shukadev Goswami said, "Thus the Vrindavan forest was filled with transparent autumnal waters." Sorry. Okay. So Vrindavan forest was filled with transparent autumnal waters and cooled by breezes perfumed with the fragrance of lotus flowers growing in the clear lakes. The infallible Lord, accompanied by his cows and cowherd boyfriends, entered that Vrindavan forest. Commentary. This chapter describes how the gopis, being pained by Krishna's flute song, repeatedly sing the glories of that flute. They also praise the animals, demigoddesses, and the forest of Vrindavan. Although staying in the village, the gopis relate what they see through the transcendental eyes of their hearts, namely the various charming pastimes Krishna enacts upon entering the forest of Vrindavan. After describing the beauty of the autumn season, Shukadev Goswami first describes Krishna's entrance into the Vrindavan forest, which is decorated with the sweetness of autumn, before portraying the pastimes of Krishna's flute song, which is intimately related to it. Okay, so he talks about Krishna's entrance into Vrindavan before portraying the pastimes of the flute, which is intimately related to. Okay. The winds became fragrant and cool by passing over the lotus-filled lakes. Krishna, along with his cows and cowherd boys, entered the forest permeated by the sweetly scented breeze. The word Vayuna is singular instead of plural to indicate a very gentle breeze. The word Madhupati of the next verse is the subject of this verse, if the alternate reading of this verse substitutes the word Vanam for Achuta. Wait. The word Madhupati of the next verse is the subject of this verse. Okay. One second. Did I share my screen again? Okay. Kusumita vanaraji shushmi bringa dija kulagushta sara sarin mahidhram madhupatir avagahya charayan gasaha saha pashupala balash chutkuja venum. Sorry guys, I need to look at this. Okay. The lakes, rivers, and hills of Vrindavan resounded with the sounds of maddened bees and flocks of birds moving about the flowering trees. In the company of the cowherd boys and Balaram, Madhupati Sri Krishna entered that forest, and while herding the cows, he began to vibrate his flute. So the subject of the previous verse becomes Madhupati if we replace the word blah, blah, blah with Vanam. Anyways, I didn't really get that totally, but commentary. Sarartha-darsini vritti by Srila Visvanatha Cakravarti Thakura. As Krishna, as Madhupati, entered the forest with its mountains, lakes, rivers, and flowing groves, he skillfully blended his flute song with the lovely sounds of Vrindavan's chirping birds and buzzing bees. The word Madhupati means the Lord of Spring, the month of Madhu. The inference is that when Krishna, the personification of spring, entered the forests in the autumn, the forests became beautiful with spring flowers. Krishna went along with Balaram and the cowherd boys to herd the cows, but it is not mentioned here that they played flutes. Only Krishna played the flute. Therefore, the Veṇu-gīta, the song of the flute and title of this chapter, came from Krishna's flute only. Wait, verse 3. Tadvraja striya shrutya Veṇu-gītam smarodayam kashchit paroksham krishnasya swasaki swasakin bhyonvarnayan. When the young ladies in the cowherd village of Vraj heard the song of Krishna's flute, which arouses the influence of Cupid, some of them privately began describing Krishna's qualities to their intimate friends. Commentary. Hearing Krishna's flute song, the gopis began describing indirectly to their friends about Krishna's entering the forest. The word paroksha, indirectly, is used because the gopis were located far away from Krishna in the village of Vraj. Tarvarnayitum arabdha smarantya Krishna cheshtitam nashakan smaravegena vikshipta manaso nripa. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna, but when they remembered his activities, O king, the power of Cupid disturbed their minds, and thus they could not speak. Commentary. When the gopis attempted to describe the song of the flute, they could not do so because their hearts became overcome with strong desires for Krishna. Oh, now we come across this very famous verse. This is the most the most prominent, topmost verse describing description in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam of Krishna's beauty. Very important verse, very commonly quoted. If you want to be able to describe Krishna's beauty, this is the main verse that you go to. Right? There's lots of times Gurudev talks about three topmost descriptions of Krishna's beauty. The first is from Brahma's prayers. Second is from the Mathura, the wives of the Mathura Brahmins, and the third, the topmost, is this one. Parhapidam natavaravappo karnayo karnikaram bibradvasa kanakakapisham vaijayantim chamalam randhran venur adharasudaya purayan gopavrindar vrindaranyam swapadaramanam pravishar gita kirti. So that's the meter for this. Barhapiram natavaravappu karnayo karnikaram bipradvasa kanakakapisham vajayantim chamalam randhran venur adharasudaya purayan gopavrindar vrindaranyam swapadaramanam pravishar kirti. It's da 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 da, like that. Hare Krishna, Mitun. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue karnika flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories. Interesting, there's no commentary for this verse. Iti Venuravam Rajan Sarvabhuta Manoharam Shrutva Vrajastriya Sarva Varnayantyo Bhire Bhire. O king, when the young ladies in Vraj heard the sound of Krishna's flute, which captivates the minds of all living beings, they all embraced one another and began describing it. Commentary. Seeing that the gopis could not speak, Sri Shukadev Goswami, being omniscient, began the description of Krishna's pastimes according to the mood of their intense love. Krishna was bedecked with the peacock flower. Krishna was bedecked with the peacock flower, Bardhapidam, and a karnika flower on his ears. Seems like the commentary for the previous verses here. Karnika, flower, is singular, whereas karnayo, ears, is in the dual form to indicate that sometimes Krishna wore one karnika flower on the left ear and sometimes on the right ear to express the intoxication of his youth. He wore a Vaijayanti garland made of flowers of 5 different colors. Thus, Krishna's beautiful body looked like the best of dances, Nata Varavapu. The use of the word bibhrat, wore, indicates that Krishna purposely dressed in an artful way to display his youthful charms in order to incite the romantic desires of the gopis. I once heard a whole class about how the different things that Krishna, like the ways that Krishna decorates himself and even the ways that gopis decorate themselves, it has different meanings. Like there's different secret codes by, if Krishna puts a flower on this ear, then it means this. And there's all sorts of different indications. And they're dressed and they have all sorts of signals and things. So they communicate in many ways other than words. Yeah. Since the gopis might have criticized the flute for having holes in it, Krishna filled the holes with the nectar of his lips. Though the flute is non-living, the touch of the nectar of Krishna's lips brought it to life and empowered it to madden the 3 worlds. Then, considering the flute to be dull, lifeless, and unqualified for such work, the vibration exudes from its holes and enters the minds of the... Sorry, let me reread that. Then, considering the flute to be dull, lifeless, and unqualified for such work, the vibration exudes from its holes and enters the ears and minds of the Vrajagopis. The implication is that the flute vibration makes itself successful in accomplishing its purpose of fully exhibiting its powers by conquering the Vrajagopis with Cupid. Wow. Shri Gopya Uchu. Oh, and this is a very famous verse also. All these verses actually of Veṇu-gīta, they're all really common, but this one especially. Akshanvatam phalamidam na param vidhama sakya pashun anuviveshayator vayasyai Bhaktram Vrajesha Sutayor Anavenu Jushtam Yarva Nipitam Anurakta Kataksha Moksham. Just checking the comments. Haribol Ganga Didi. The cowherd girl said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As these 2 sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision." Commentary. My Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's only goal in life is the Vraj Gopis, who, being attracted by the nectar shower from Krishna's flute, ran out of their houses, and whose sweet words repeated here enable us to relish that nectar too. The gopis meant to say, "O friends, if you simply remain in the shackles of family life in this material world, what will you ever see? The Creator has granted us these eyes, so let us see the most wonderful thing there is to see, Krishna." The gopis were aware that their mothers-in-law or sisters-in-law might hear their romantic words and disapprove. So to hide their true feelings, they said, "Akshan vatang phalam." To see Krishna is the goal for all persons, and not simply ourselves. That is a superficial meaning, but the hidden implication is, those faces give bliss to everyone in Vrindavan, even the birds and beasts, but not to us, staying in our houses far away. So there's some separation in there. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:5-27, Vasudev said, "O Nanda, my son, Balaram thinks of you as if he were his father." Also, Shukadev said, "Balaram offered respects to his parents, Nanda and Yashoda, and they blessed him." That's in chapter 65, verse 2 in this 10th canto. By such statements, therefore, Balaram was commonly known as Nanda's son. Therefore, in this verse, the gopis describe Balaram, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Vrajesha Sutayor. However, there is a hidden meaning in the phrase Vaktaram Vrajesha Sutayor. Faces of the sons of the king of Vraj, Nanda Maharaj. The word Vaktaram, face, can mean that the face among the two of them, which was turning black, Anu Anavenu. Wait. Let me reread that. The word Vaktaram, face, can mean that face among the two of them, which was turning back. Okay, playing the flute. The word Va, so is that referring to Krishna then? The word Va with nipitam, to drink with intensity, also indicates seeing, touching, hearing, smelling, or tasting that face. If the alternate reading Va is used instead of Va, it means certainly they taste. In other words, the gopis are saying, those who give up all shyness and steadiness to drink the nectar of that face playing the flute among the two sons herding cows in the forest along with their friends, that person, sorry, I read that wrong. Those who give up all shyness and steadiness to drink the nectar of that face, I'm having a hard time reading today. Face playing the flute among the two sons herding the cows in the forest along with their friends, have fortunate senses and not others. Therefore, we intend to say, today let us abandon all family tradition, shyness, and self-control. Another gopi said, yes, let us see, touch, hear, and smell Krishna. But how is it possible since we are so shy? One gopi replied, that face releases sidelong glances upon anyone who becomes lovingly attracted to him. Krishna will search you out and release the arrow of his enchanting glance. When it strikes, you will become agitated with love, forget all your shyness, and abandon your self-control. Then you will look without shyness on that face. Something in my Gurudev's commentary on these verses, there's this whole book, Veṇu-gīta, on like every verse almost, or just all throughout it. Gurudev kept on talking about the gopis expressing, avahita bhav, like they're concealing their inner feelings. And so that's why the gopis are referring to Krishna and Balaram, because they don't want to seem like but really they're just talking about Krishna, but they're trying to hide it. And so they say Krishna and Balaram. And then we see from Srila Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakur's commentary here how it's secretly they're actually indicating just Krishna. Yeah. Chuta pravala barhastabtu stabakotpalabja malanu sorry, malanu prikrita paridhana vichitra vesho madhe vire jaturalam pashupala goshtam range yatha natavaro kwacha gayamano. Dressed in a charming variety of garments upon which their garlands rest, and decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flower buds. Krishna and Balaram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing. Commentary. One gopi said, "But how will we deal with this disgrace? We should not go." A second gopi replied, "No, we should go anyway." The first gopi said, "Because Krishna is with Baladev, our motive in going will not be fulfilled." The second gopi replied, "Therefore, while remaining concealed, we can peer through the leaves of the creepers and taste the nectar of Krishna's beauty, hear his singing, and see his dancing. Then we can quickly return home." That is the intention of this verse. Decorating themselves with tender mango leaf sprouts, peacock feathers, and bunches of flowers in their hair, lotus buds over their ears, a play lotus in the right hand, a garland around the neck, and wearing sewn garments colored red, yellow, and black, like those of an actor, Krishna and Balaram looked like the best of dancers arrayed in colorful dress. Krishna and Balaram danced along with the boys and sometimes sang Gaya Mano. Gaya Mano can also mean that Krishna and Balaram were satisfied with the singing of others who were praising them. Or it can mean that Krishna and Balaram were proud of their own singing. No one in the three worlds can sing like us. Who are you, insignificant cowherd boys? One second, just checking. Hari Bol, Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantra Murti Mataji. Yes. Huh, Prajumna Prabhu? I've never heard anything like that. Where did you get that from? That's very odd thing. Gopya kimachara dayam kushalam smavenur damodaradhara sudam api gopikanam bhunkte swayam yaravashishtarasam hridinyo rishyat tvacho mumuchus rishyat tvacho shrumumuchus taravo yatarya. My dear gopis, Oh, my dear gopis, what auspicious activities must the flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Krishna's lips independently and leave only a taste for us gopis for whom that nectar is actually meant? There's some jealousy there. The forefathers of the flute, the bamboo trees, shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body. Commentary. The gopi said, "This flute has created a problem for us, drowning us in an ocean of disgrace." That is expressed in this verse. Though the words Vankshi and Murali are in feminine gender, the word Venu is masculine, like the word Dara, a masculine word meaning wife. What auspicious activities did the Venu perform to become Krishna's wife? It did not do anything auspicious because it took birth as a non moving creature, a low birth resulting from a lack of piety. Yet that flute drinks the nectar of Damodar's lips. Can we tolerate that? No, because it is the gopi's right to taste that nectar. After all, Krishna was born as a gopa, and we were born as gopis. Therefore, we have the right to taste those lips, not the flute. Furthermore, the flute has the audacity to manifest as male. He manifests as male in form and still enjoy Krishna. Moreover, this enjoyment is done without marriage, utterly alone and by thievery. The flute then brazenly announces the fact to the real owners of that treasure, namely us, by blowing air. It is not just the ordinary sound of blowing air, it is the cries of the bliss the flute experiences in association with Krishna. And we are forced to hear that sound. The flute is enjoying so much that it leaves nothing left, not even a morsel. Though we are the rightful claimants of the nectar of Krishna's lips, that flute leaves nothing for us, not even his own remnants. Such is his audacity. Others who are devoid of piety also act in the same way. Seeing the flute enjoying the nectar of Krishna's lips, the river becomes happy, blooming with lotuses, standing like hair on her body. The trees pouring out their honey seem to be weeping in bliss. Upon hearing Krishna's glories, the devotees shed tears of joy and experience horripilation. Similarly, upon hearing Krishna's flute song, the rivers and trees are also displaying symptoms of bhav. The rivers are female friends of the flute, and the trees are male friends or messengers. Thus, the flute, rivers, and trees are all our enemies. Therefore, where can we hide the flute so that it does not get the nectar of Krishna's lips? Here, the gopis manifest the sanchari bhav of envy, which has arisen from their intense love for Krishna. Vrindavanam saki bhuvo vitanoti kirtim yadevaki sutapadam bhujalabda lakshmi govinda venu manumatta mayura nrityam prikshadri sanvavaratanya samasta sattvam. O friend, Vrindavan is spreading the glory of the earth, having obtained the treasure of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Devaki. The peacocks dance madly when they hear Govinda's flute, and when other creatures see them from the hilltops, they all become stunned. So Vrindavan and the peacocks, this verse is. Commentary. The forest of Vrindavan has now become even sweeter because it is the place of Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, let us go there to see that place. There is no fault in doing that. With this in mind, one gopi spoke. Vrindavan is spreading, and vitanoti means vishesh bhavina tanoti. So, okay. Vrindavan is spreading the glories of the earth, especially as being better than Swarga, because the earth is marked with the symbols of the flag and thunderbolt from the lotus feet of Devaki Nandan, the son of Yashoda, because Devaki is another name for Yashoda. The name Devaki also refers to Mother Yashoda, as stated in the Brihad Vishnu Purana. Dve namni Nanda Bharyaya Yashoda Devakiti cha ata sakyam abhut tasya Devakya Shauri Jayaya. The wife of Nanda Maharaj had two names, Yashoda and also Devaki. Therefore, it was natural that she became friends with Vasudev's wife named Devaki. Thus, Devaki Sutta, the son of Devaki in this verse, refers to Yashoda Nandan Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda. A gopi said, "It is not possible to find the symbols of Krishna's feet decorating the abode of Vaikuntha, nor is it possible to see such a beautiful cow pasturing area there. In Vrindavan, the peacocks ask Krishna, 'Govinda, please make us dance.' Thus Krishna plays his flute, and they surround him in a circle and dance madly in time with the rhythm of his melody. And while standing in the midst of their dancing, Krishna also sings and dances. Then those peacocks who are fully satisfied with his flute recital, out of gratitude, offer for his pleasure their own divine feathers. In the usual manner of musicians, Krishna gladly accepts their offerings and places a peacock feather upon his turban. Gentle animals such as deers and doves greatly relish Krishna's transcendental performance, and to get a good view, they flock to the peaks of hills. Then, as they watch the breathtaking program, they become stunned in ecstasy. Another gopi said, "O Sakis, we intensely desire to relish Krishna's dancing, singing, and flute playing, and to see all those beasts, deer, doves, and birds assembled on the hill slopes who have become stunned in bliss." Dhanyasmamuram gatayo. Oh, wait. Yeah. Dhanyasmamura gatayo piharinya eta. Ya nanda nandanamupata vichitravesham. Akarnya venuranitam saha Krishna sara. Pujang dadhur virachitam pranayavalokai. Blessed are all these foolish deer, because they have approached Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the doe and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. Commentary. A gopi said, "Alas, though we are more intelligent than the deer, our life has become useless since we cannot meet Krishna. The less intelligent creatures have made their lives successful by meeting Krishna. How is that?" This sentiment is expressed in this verse. Sma, certainly, is an exclamation of astonishment or lamentation. Oh, Sma, we do not have such good fortune. There are two readings, Veṇu-ranitam and Veṇu-rifitam. The meaning is the same, the sound of the flute. The gopi said, "Hearing the sound of the flute, the does worship Krishna with their affectionate glances. Then what can be said of the glances that we intelligent beings have given to Krishna?" The gopis were thinking as follows. The female deer can approach Krishna along with their husbands because Krishna is the ultimate object of affection for the male deer. And the male deer, they're called the Krishnasara deer. Krishnasara means male deer, but also those who take Krishna alone as the object of worship. They've made Krishna their essence. Krishna, I actually looked this up. Krishnasara is what is it called? Buck something. Krishna Sar deer in India. It's called the black buck. There's a Krishna Sar. See, that's a Krishna Sar deer. Let's see a bit bigger picture. Hey. Oh, I think they had these deers. Anyways, yeah, I've seen these deers before here. See, beautiful, huh? Such long horns. Okay. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Where am I? Oh, I forgot. I opened up a tab here. Okay. So, let's go back. The female deer can approach Krishna along with their husbands because Krishna is the ultimate object of affection for the male deer. Krishna Sara means male deer and also those who take Krishna alone as their object of worship. Because of their affection for Krishna, the bucks are encouraged by seeing their wives attracted to him and thus consider their household lives fortunate. Indeed, they become joyful upon seeing how their wives are searching after Krishna, and, following along, they urge their wives to run to the Lord. On the other hand, our husbands are jealous of Krishna, and because of their lack of devotion to him, they cannot even stand to smell his fragrance. Therefore, what is the use of our lives? Krishnam nirikshvanitotsava rupashilam shrutva chatat kvanita venu vivikta gitam devyo vimana gataya smaranunasara brashyat prasuna kabara mumuhur vinivya. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when the demigods' wives flying in airplanes with their husbands catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid, and they become so bewildered that the flowers fall out of their hair and their belts loosen. Commentary. One gopi said, "Since we are ordinary gopis and Krishna is a gopa from our village, our conjugal attraction for him is natural. Though he is appearing among the human beings, even the demigoddesses become mad after Krishna. Then what is so astonishing that we poor earthly women have become completely conquered by Krishna's love-laden glances and the nectar of his flute? Seeing the exquisite form and sterling qualities of Krishna, the heavenly women become blissful. Their hearts overcome with conjugal desire. Oh, sorry. Their hearts are overcome with conjugal desire. There's a verb missing. The flowers fall from their hairs. Sorry, sorry guys. The flowers fall from their hair as it becomes undone and their belts loosen. Then they faint and fall from the laps of their husbands while flying in the sky in their airplanes. The bewildered celestial damsels depicted here are showing the symptoms of an ecstatic transformation, an anubhav known as motayita. When a heroine sees, remembers, or hears the words of her hero, Krishna, lusty desires are aroused in her heart and she hankers for his association. This is a state of motayita. A gopi said, "The intelligent demigods, although noting the condition of their wives, they do not become envious. Rather, thinking themselves most fortunate, they regularly take their wives along to see Krishna in Vrindavan. But our husbands are envious. Thus, the low-born deer and the high-born wives of the demigods are very fortunate. But we poor humans in an intermediate position are the most unfortunate." Gavascha Krishna Mukha Nirgata Veṇu-gīta Piyushamutta Bhita Karna Putai Pipantya Shavasnuta Stanapaya Kavalasmatastur Govindamatmani Drishashru Kala Sprishantya. Using their upraised ears as vessels, the cows are drinking the nectar of the flute song flowing out of Krishna's mouth. The calves, their mouths full of milk from their mother's moist nipples, stand still as they take Govinda within themselves through their tear-filled eyes and embrace him within their hearts. Commentary. A gopi said, "One cannot say that bewilderment from Krishna's flute song is generated from the conjugal desire of ladies only. Even dumb animals like cows and their calves are affected by the nectar of Krishna's flute. In fear of spilling the nectar, the cows have raised their ears like cups to hear the sound of Krishna's flute. The cause of the cows' bewilderment is not just their Vatsalya bhav towards Krishna, because their calves, which are devoid of Vatsalya bhav, are also bewildered. The calves, having just drunk their mother's milk, perk up their ears to drink the nectar of Krishna's flute song as soon as they hear it. Then they stop sucking their mother's nipples. The milk falls from their open mouths, and they stand as if stunned. The cows stand still as they take Govinda within their hearts through their tear-filled eyes and embrace him out of Vatsalya bhav, motherly affection. In this way, all living entities have unalloyed pure love for Krishna, and they are fortunate because they can meet Krishna. Only we are unfortunate because of separation from him." All these, by the way, all these descriptions here, all these verses of the gopis are in this painting of Veṇu-gīta painting. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. Let's see if we can find a high resolution version. Size large. Okay. yeah, here's high resolution one. Open link in new tab. Sorry, open image in new tab. Okay, so seeing this, so we went over. We went through the peacock verse. We went through the verse of the does. And the previous verse is talking about Krishna and Balaram. Now look, here are the cows with straw in their. Sorry, they become stunned, and so they can't even chew the grass. And there's a calf drinking milk, but there's milk pouring from it, like dropping from his mouth. See, all these descriptions are in this painting. And they're the gopis making these prayers. That's Ananga Manjari, and that's Srimati Radharani. And we'll come across this verse of the Yamuna. Yeah, a lot going on in that painting. Oops, where are we? Prayo batamba vihaga munayo vanesmin Krishne kshitam taruditam kalavenu-gītam Aruhya yedruma bhujan ruchiya pravalan Shrinvangti milita drisho vigitanya vacha. Oh mother, in this forest. Oh mother? Oh, I remember this is in a commentary. Okay. Oh mother, in this forest, all the birds have risen onto the beautiful branches of the trees to see Krishna. With closed eyes, they are simply listening in silence to the sweet vibrations of his flute, and they are not attracted by any other sound. Surely these birds are on the same level as great sages. Let's find the birds in the painting. Oops. There's the birds. See? Found them. They're up here. Okay. Commentary. Oh, and we'll end with this. One gopi replied, "The calves, who are dumb animals in material consciousness, are only tasting material pleasures. On the other hand, the Atma Ram Munis, fixed in transcendental knowledge and renunciation, cannot be disturbed by Krishna." Another gopi said, "No, this is not true. Krishna also attracts the Munis with his sweetness." Oh, Bata. Oh, it is surprising, mother, Amba. Amba, mother, is an address to an intimate girlfriend used naturally by young ladies caught up in loving affection. All these birds resemble munis because they live in the forest, keep their eyes closed, observe silence, and remain motionless. Perched on the branches of the trees, they become ecstatic listening to the flute. Thus, even great munis become maddened by Krishna's flute song, which is a completely spiritual vibration. Not only that, Saki, even the branches of the trees are transformed in ecstasy when struck by the vibration of Krishna's flute song and begin to sprout new leaves out of ecstasy. The sweet vibrations of his flute, which agitates the whole universe, arises from Krishna alone, not from Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, or Indra. It is impossible for anyone else to produce such enchanting music. Indra, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, being primordial gods, travel throughout the universe and have extensive knowledge of the science of music. And yet, even these great personalities have never heard or composed music like that which emanates from Krishna's flute. Indeed, Saki, the birds are so moved by the unique blissful sounds that, in their ecstasy, they close their eyes and cling to the branches to avoid falling off the trees. Due to being absorbed in the bliss of Krishna, they have given up all other talk, even the talk of munis about Brahmananda. I wonder if any of the birds in this painting have their eyes closed. I can't really tell. It's too small. What time is it? It's 8:26. I think we can fit in one more verse. Then we have let's do one last verse. Dasadatarupadharya mukunda gitam avartalakshitamanobhava bhagnavega alinganasthagitamurmi bhujar murarer grinanti padayugalam kamalopahara. When the rivers hear the flute song of Krishna, their minds begin to desire him, and thus the flow of their currents is broken and their waters are agitated, moving around in whirlpools. Then, with the arms of their waves, the rivers embrace Murari's lotus feet, holding onto them, and they present offerings of lotus flowers. See, and here's the rivers offering a lotus. Look, there's like a hand offering lotus. And there's whirlpools. See the whirlpools. And look, it's even touching Krishna's feet. See it? Commentary. Krishna is so enchanting that he bewilders each and every member of the female gender. Carrying this fact to its extreme, the gopis speak this verse. Because rivers are of the female gender. A gopi said, "All the rivers exhibit whirlpools, indicating that their courses have been interrupted by the disturbance of conjugal attraction for Krishna. They stop flowing towards the ocean, who is their husband, because they have lost all shyness and self-control. As their excess water swells into waves, they embrace the lotus feet of Murari, standing motionless on the river bank, and holding on to them, present offerings of. As their excess water swells into waves, they embrace the lotus feet of Murari, standing motionless on the river bank, and holding on to them, they present offerings of lotus flowers. Yet the ocean does not harbor any hatred towards those rivers because of their love for Krishna, unlike our husbands. Just see how unfortunate we are." According to the Amar Kosh dictionary, the word kamala, lotus, can also mean water. Taking this meaning, the sentence can read, "They used their own water to offer padya, foot bath, to Krishna." The word kamala can also mean wealth. In order to please Krishna, they offered all their wealth to him. All right, so we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What's next? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vishnupad Ashwata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vishnupad Ashwata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vishnupad Ashwata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vishnupad Ashwata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vishnupad Ashwata Rashata Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Mahabhagavat Srila Gokshara Swamiji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dashagunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishtabhadata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Sarva Vraja Devi Gan ki jai. Sarva Gopi Gan ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gan ki jai. Shri Veṇu-gīta ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Visvanatha Cakravarti Thakura ki jai. Sarartha-darsini vritti ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Today I'm going to be working on, I'm going to try to finish everything, all my work on going over this Veṇu-gīta, and I'll send it for checking, like somebody to go over my corrections. And yeah, I'm wondering, should I read from this? It's a bit long though. Maybe we should just continue with our reading. How many pages is it? It is 183 pages. Anyhow, see. All right, see you all. Oh wait, I need to think about this. I might not do the reading tomorrow because we have our Rupa Shiksha program. So yeah, maybe tomorrow I won't read. I have to check in with everybody who's been joining the Rupa Shiksha program though. If they're up to doing it tomorrow, if they are, then maybe I will continue reading the day after tomorrow. Because yeah, I totally forgot that it was Sunday. So. All right, Rup Manjari Didi, we'll see. Maybe. I'll just do it. But we'll see. I have to think about it because that's yeah. All right, Hari Bol, everybody. See you. Yeah, so I might not come live. I might go live or I might not go live tomorrow. I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group for those who are in the WhatsApp group.